I want to build. So many of us want to build Facebook, want to build Instagram, we want to do so many things, but we're not ready to make ourselves available to put in the work and to invest in ourselves. Right, I'm going to. Okay, can you guys see me? Am I being seen?
Yeah, all good now, so you can start.
All right. So, as I introduce myself, my name is Peter Odejobi. I am a software engineer at Builder Studio. I started my software engineering journey as an open source developer at Mozilla Firefox, where we built a translations component to translate web pages for users. I went on to contribute to Google Summer of Code until finding myself in Builder Studio, a community where we help people to become a better version of themselves. And I really appreciated the vision, and I really wanted to really help people become a better version of themselves and find the shortest path and the right path to that point in our lives that we're like, I'm really happy I got to this point in my life. Okay. So we're just good. Today we're going to go into software engineering. What is software engineering? What do we understand by software engineering? Oh, before that, um, I would like to say that if you have questions to ask, please use Slido to ask the questions, and I'll be able to go there to view our intellectual questions. Please remember, there are no stupid questions. No stupid question. Whatever it is, anyhow you can put it, just put it down. I am very well ready to answer those questions. And if you are too shy to put the question up, please reach out to Favor Broderick and he will pass those questions down to me. Please, I want you to ask your questions. I really enjoy learning from you people. Your questions allow me to learn more. So please ask your questions. Also, this class is held via Zoom and will be recorded, and the recordings will be posted on YouTube for references. Okay, so what is software engineering? You guys, let me know, what do we understand by software engineering here? Who has an idea of software engineering? Anybody, anybody, anything. So let me know. People should volunteer themselves, or else I will be mentioning names. The names are shown right here. So I will be mentioning names. Okay, so what idea? What do we know is software engineering? I'm saying names here. Please submit yourself now so you can save everybody, unless I will mention names. Who wants to talk about software engineering? Who wants to say what they understand by software engineering? Who? Nobody is speaking up. Nobody is
Hi.
speaking up. Hi.
So from my understanding of software engineering, I think they are basically the guys who do the front end and the back end of a product. They basically just do the dirty work in terms of building it
Okay.
from scratch.
Okay. Well, Larry, that is a very good idea. I really appreciate your confidence. And yes, you are correct. That is right. We do the dirty work of building software. Anybody else wants to go? Who else wants to go? Who wants to go? Larry was very confident. I would say that he was very, very confident to speak up. So, who else wants to go? Who else has an idea of what software engineering is? Anybody? I will mention names. I'm seeing some very great names. Some names have A in them. A. There are a lot of names that have A here. If I can just pick anybody and put it on the spot. I think I could turn up. I can turn on your mics too from here. So anybody else wants to go? What do we understand by software engineering? Hmm. What do we understand by software engineering? Anybody? Anybody? I think I'm just going to take a go at it because nobody wants to be confident. I'm going to take a go at it. I'm going to answer that question myself. Software engineering. First of all, what is software? Software is a program or a set of programs containing instructions that provide the desired functionality. That is just a very technical, high end way of explaining it. A software is something that we cannot hold, like we cannot touch physically. We can only see it. We can't touch it. It's an app, a software. We can't touch it physically. We can only see it. That is basically to the bare minimum of what a software is. And engineering is the process of designing and building something that serves a particular purpose and finds a cost-effective solution to the problem. That is a lot of words, a lot of huge words. And I'm going to break down. Engineering is just basically the building blocks, the foundations, the putting together of the building blocks, the foundation of something. Just building it together, finding the best way and the most efficient way to build something. So software engineering is building software in the most effective and best way. That's basically what software engineering is. We're going to move on to we should probably move on to, I really actually had a test code for us to write today because I really wanted us to write code because I'm sure a lot of us are very interested in writing code. We want to write code. And I'm so sorry that we couldn't do that today. But please reach out to me and I will show you and I will help you in the best way that I can. You can reach out to me via Favor Broderick. They will pass the information to me. Okay, so let's head into the theory part because well, everything here is going to be theoretical, just theory. I'm so sorry we're not writing code today. I wish we could. I really wish. Software engineering is the process of designing, developing, testing, and maintaining software. I think we already have an idea what that is. How many of us have used Facebook before? How many? We can just notify. My voice is low. Oh, I'm so sorry, Benga. Can you hear me now, Benga? Can you hear me, Benga?
I think your earplug might be the issue. If is it possible for you to do without it?
Um, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
All right. Okay,
So
so software engineering
one
is the process
second.
of designing, developing, testing, and
Hi,
maintaining
Peter.
software. I'm
So
so sorry.
when
I'm a bit
when
having
you want me
turn
to
on
go to
caption
the next slide, just tell me
because I
next.
can
I will
barely hear
just go
you.
to the next slide. This is
Hmm?
Damola. When you want to go to the next slide, just tell me next. I'll go to the next slide for you.
Okay. So
All
when I
right,
want to go
cool.
to the next, I'll just tell you next. Got it.
Okay, go.
I think whatever information I can hear him clearly. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Okay. So software engineering is the process of designing, developing, testing, and maintaining software. How many of us have used Facebook before? How many of us has used Facebook? You can just let me know in this chat box that I have my eye on. You can just raise your hands or something with the reaction or something. All right. So we have Ayomi. He has used Facebook before. Okay. Okay. So how many of us have know the programming language that Facebook is written with? How many of us know? Do you know that there's Facebook via mobile app and via the web? Do we all know that they are separate programming languages for those two apps, even though they do the exact same thing? There are two separate programming languages for that specific app when it comes to Facebook web and the mobile app. Do we know? All right. So basically, when it comes to software, it includes a variety of techniques, tools, and methodologies, including requirement as analysis, design, testing, and maintenance. Basically put, it means that for different programs, for different devices, or different genre, should I say myself, or devices require a specific programming language. When it comes to Android and iOS and desktop apps, there are several separate programming languages for each devices because there are severally different features that particular programming languages cannot achieve without having the native language do that for you. All right, so we all it is a rapidly evolving field. New tools and technologies are constantly being developed to improve. I'm sure we all know that software tech is taking over the world. So should I really explain all that? No, I don't think it pertains to all that. Okay, please, if you have questions, put them in Slido. All right. So the key principles of software engineering, we have modularity, breaking the software into smaller, reusable components that can be developed and tested. As said, you guys have seen Facebook. There's so many things you can do. You can like, you can post, you can go to the marketplace, you can what's the word? Post videos, watch reels. Imagine if all the code was written in one full page, one whole encyclopedia, one page, like all of it there that's going down. Please, how many of us would want to work on that? Would we how large Facebook is? Imagine how large it is, and then we have all the code written in one page. Wouldn't it be so hard for people to even maintain? Will Facebook be able to maintain that? No, I don't think so. Facebook will not be able to maintain that. So they separate code, they put in separate files and separate places for them to be able to maintain the code, for them to be able to review and check and make updates. Because I'm sure in particular holidays, you see Facebook will celebrate the holidays with you. Some of them will change their icons or change particular colors and things. That's because their software programs are modular. They break them into separate pieces so they can easily make those changes at any point in time. We have abstraction, hiding the implementation details of a component and exposing only the necessary functionality to other parts of the software. When it comes to abstraction, just the way we separate all the files into different sections to their own specific concerns, we also have to separate the logic, the way it is supposed to do things. When we tell our software to like a post, and we already separated the file for liking posts into a separate component, we also have to separate the logic, the algorithm to tell it, we separate it, we add it into a separate file so it doesn't get confused and the code doesn't get so much and turns into spaghetti code that nobody understands what is going on. So abstraction is just hiding the details, it's putting specific logic concerning a specific part of the app, a specific feature, putting it separate with that specific feature so it can be easily updated. Facebook can easily change the light color from blue to purple, green. I'm sure it takes like just two, three codes, line changes. Okay, Gwenga, do you have something to say? Or do you have a question? Because I see your mic is on.
No, no.
Oh, okay. Please turn off your mic then. Reusability, creating components that can be used in multiple projects, which can save time. Let's put ourselves in this example. Imagine if we were building, um, let's say, if we were building a three-story building and they all had the same things in the same a three-story building that every level is the same. Would you want to build everything from scratch? Let's say you build the base level and the second level still has the same things, the same items, and need this exact same thing. Would you want to start building the second level again from scratch? Who? Let me know who wants to build something that they've already done before, start doing it again from scratch. Who wants to do that? Let me know. Just write it down in the chat section. Who wants to do something they've done before over and over again, repeating it from scratch? Who wants to do that? I don't see anybody that wants to stress themselves. I don't see anybody that wants to start over and start stressing. Okay, that basically explains what reusability is. When it comes to code and building particular softwares, we have to make them reusable so we can use them in that project. Let's say we have this particular UI, like Facebook UI. When it comes to posting, the UI for posts can be the same for viewing your profile. The UI for post can be the same for viewing your profile. Instead of starting from scratch and redoing it again, why not just reuse that component and put it there instead of starting over? You can even reuse it when your component is very, very reusable and very flexible. You can reuse it. You can excuse me. You can reuse it in another app. So you don't have to start from scratch when you're building something, when you're doing something. You don't have to go again from level one, from base one. Because who wants to do that? Who wants to start from scratch? Excuse me. Who wants to start from scratch? That is basically what reusability does. That's what reusability explains. Being able to reuse something in several projects. Encapsulation, wrapping up the data and functions of an object into a single unit and protecting the internal state of an object for external modifications. This encapsulation, I would say, is a very good idea, but I don't think it's a topic that we should touch on now because there are no code samples and this will get quite confusing for people. So if you really, really want to find out more about this, please reach out to Favor Broderick or reach out to us on our social media and I'll be able to help you explain this more because this will need a lot of code samples and we can't quite have that now. Maintenance, regularly updating, improving the software to fix bugs and add new features, address security. When it comes to software, when it comes to Facebook, I'm sure there are particular concerns that we have about Facebook. So many of us are like, oh, I don't like this thing. When I use Facebook, the app just logs me out. It does this. Or when you use particular software apps or something, you see that you say, oh, this app logs me out. This app, when I click on this, it doesn't work. It doesn't do this. So that's like bugs. That's what we call bugs that were not addressed during production or during development. Excuse me, they were not addressed during development. So the best we would do is to complain to the engineering company. All right, so let me just. All right, we can just complain to the engineering company, and then they can show us or reach out to us on how they can help us to fix the bugs in that particular software. So we have to make our software, our code written, very maintainable, very easy to change stuff, very easy to work on bugs, so you don't break something in production. Because when you're using Facebook, would you imagine? I think there was a thing that happened around 2022 or 2023, I guess. I think Facebook broke and we couldn't use Instagram or whatever. Everything was just there, it hanged, and then no new posts were coming in. Our likes, nothing was going on. Everybody was wondering what was happening. That is a bug. That was a bug that happened. Now we have testing. Verify that the software meets its requirement and is free of bugs. We all know when we do something, when you work on something or when you, let's say you buy a new shoe, you have to try the shoe on, right? You have to know whether it fits, whether it's something that you like. Does it fit? Does it match? They say, okay, is it too tight? Is it too loose? So we have just the same thing goes for software. We have to test our softwares. We have to figure out if it's actually the right fit, if it works, if it doesn't have any bug. Design patterns, solving recurring problems in software by providing templates. These are a lot of words, man. Design partners patterns, excuse me, is basically the um the best verified, the best way to build software. The actual, because there are so many ideas and so many people that have so many ways that they want to do something. Imagine we're working on a project and then you have your own idea, I have my own idea, another person has the idea, and then we're just all doing our thing. The program starts to become very confusing, starts to become very chunky. So many different logic, so many different features, so many different things that when you want to change something in future, let's say the particular developer that worked on this is no longer part of that company or organization, you have to start looking for him up and down because you don't understand what he wrote there. You don't understand. You don't understand what the person wrote there. You don't understand. You don't have an idea of what is in the code. You get that? So design patterns helps us to follow the particular algorithm, the particular way how it's supposed to go. That do this way, and then everybody else will just have to learn the algorithm and work with it when it comes to working. Design patterns are just algorithms for designing software. Agile methodologies. This is just used for the software development lifecycle. Just the way as sewing a clothes has a process, just the way you wake up in the morning and you have a process of brushing your teeth, eating breakfast, having your bath, doing that is a process. So same goes for software. We have a process for developing software. You can't just come on and start typing software and then you want to just build. No, there's a process. There's a way to do things. There are ways things are done. Next, please. The main attributes, client server model. How many of us have used Dodo Pizza before? How many of us has always wanted to order Dodo? Or they are using Glovo. There's this other one, Chowdeck. Chowdeck, yes. So many of us that don't like cooking. We don't want to cook. We don't want to stress ourselves. I don't like stress. It's not part of my steez. How many of us doesn't like stress? Please comment it down. Let me know if you don't like stress, so I will not stress you. Write down if you don't like stress. Write it down in the message box. You don't like stress. Let me see you. There are a lot of people that don't like stress. They don't like stress at all. Man, I don't like stress. I don't like stress. Okay, so let me just explain what client server model is. A real world analogy of client server model. You place the order by making a call to the restaurant. Someone picks up the call, takes the order, and delivers it. That exactly explains client server model. It's basically where you pick up your phone and you tap onto the app, Dodo, Glovo, Chowdeck, and then you click on to order the food. Now, when you click on the food that you want to order and then press order and then sign in your payment option, all those data is carried onto the backend where it is passed to the necessary people that need to find out what you're doing. I think I've tried it before when I went to Dodo and I actually did order on the app right in the store and then they got the notification instantly. You just all your data is being carried from your device onto the server that hosts Dodo. There are only two entities involved: the clients, which is we, the ones that are making the order, the ones that are using the app, and then the server who provides data access, our network provider, and our backend development methodologies that are the ones that send the data to the necessary people that need to know what is going on when it comes to our orders. When it comes to using Dodo Pizza, as we see here, the client in this image, there's a client. This showcases our device, our PCs, our mobile device, and then the IP address is our network address. And the IP address on the phone, our network address. That is what sends our data to the server, and then a lot of backend job is done. A lot of networking and rerouting and sharing is taking it to where your order will be placed and sent to the right people. Next. Okay, so which one of us or how many of us know what field in software we want to go on? What field in software do we want to go on? Is it front end? Is it back end? What do we even know is front end and back end? I'm not sure many of us have an idea what that there are sections in front. There's front end, back end, there's full stack. So let me know what you're going for. Is it front end? Is it back end? What ideas do you have about front end? What do you think front end is? Benga, your mic is turned on again. Do you want to say something?
Yeah. Good evening, house. So what I know about front end is that front end is like you creating blocks, like you sign your page, your email in blocks, Natasha. Then for back end, those that see what a front ender cannot actually see. E.g., those that sent you um error 404. For instance, sometimes you will try to insert your password and then it will tell you that this is error 404. So that page that said that actually the display error 404, it is more of like a back enders that actually see what you cannot see. So I get to my only to understanding. This is what I can say for now. Thank you.
All right, that's very, very amazing. That is very amazing. That you had a very great idea. You hit the nail on the head, Benga. Thank you so much for that. Who else wants to go? Who else has an understanding of front end? Who else wants to go? I will mention names this time. I promise you, I will mention names if nobody comes up to say something. I see a lot of names with E's in them, the letter E. Hmm. Who wants to go on and speak on what front end and back end is? What do we understand by front end? What do we understand by back end development? Who else? Who else? Who else wants to go?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So I would say um front end is like front end is like the character. Okay, front software development is like a human being. So front end is like what you see, then back end is like the character. So it's more like tangible and intangible. So the one you interact with is the front end, like the button you click, the text you feel, but then what makes the page loads up, what made what makes your password to be accepted is the backend. You can type in your password, click on the button, you would see those reaction, but nothing would happen. So what makes it happen is the backend. So that's my understanding.
Who said you take this one? You're very carried. They're not telling you. Thank you so much, Larry, for that. I really appreciate it. I like your analogies, you guys. So many of you are using the right analogies, the very well analogies that I want. Are you guys in my mind? You guys already took my analogy. That is exactly what front end and back end engineering is. The front end is the UI of the app, the one that we engage with, the one that we use, where we type in our passwords and etc. And then it's being sent to the backend where all our passwords and emails and data is saved. That is basically what the front end is. Then the backend is where all our passwords and data are saved, where our passwords, our email addresses, uh, where our orders also. I mean, when you make an order, it's on the backend that it will be sent to the server and then do all the necessary rerouting and network job. That is a lot of intricacies on computer networking. But yeah, that is basically what the front end and back end is. The UI is the front end, and then the back end is where all the network requests are made. Now, front end development, referred to as client side development, is a process of building a website or online application user interface. It is referred to client side because everything in a web application takes place on the user device. It determines how much website elements will appear and work. The graphical user interface and user interactions comprise the complete. God, this is a lot of words. We basically just explained it in how many minutes? This is a lot of words, you guys. Next, because I'm sure I don't want to bore you guys with a lot of words. So we basically just explain what front end and back end is. A front end developer is a type of software developer who specializes in creating and designing the user interface and user experience of websites and applications. You guys, I really realize that so many of us front end developers are always disrespected. I feel like so many people are always saying that front end development is easy. I'm not saying it's not easy. Because some people like front end development is easy. Benga, you like stress. Good for you. So many people will say front end development is easy. Like it's just something that you just pick up your laptop and start typing. And I'm not saying it's not easy, but they are making it seem like it's something that you just run to and just start doing because that's the easy way out when it comes to software engineering. It comes to you're just doing something here, like you copy and paste that color and put it there. So front end engineering takes a lot of ideas, and when you're a front end software engineer, you have to have a little idea about the backend too, because you have to integrate the backend. When you're making those requests, you have to make sure the button that you click actually sends those data back to the backend so they can see what the user sent. The front end you just need to have a little knowledge of the backend. And also the full stack developer is just the front end and backend developer in one person. Intertwined. Okay? All right, so we have a front end developer architect and develop website and application using web technologies. That is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Please, DOM is not a programming language. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. While run, while run on the web platform will act as a compilation input for the environment. Okay, so the front end development right now in the basic level, we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and that is used for web development. There are several frameworks and several programming languages to help us develop for different platforms. But when it comes to web development, the web browser, the way we visit our page, the way we're on Zoom, I'm sure some of us are on Zoom via our web browsers, and some of us have visited web pages, and a lot of us have visited web pages, right? So they are built on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML being the skeleton of the web page, just the foundations, no design, and then CSS, as seen on that previous picture. Please, can we go back to the previous picture, to the previous slide? All right, so you can see here on this first slide, The one without the color is a front end built with just the HTML. This is the skeleton of the website. There is nothing on there. You can see right there, only HTML under there. And then when you add CSS, this is what it becomes with colors and several styles. When you click on it and then it looks so amazing, the button goes up, it slides, it does several things. That is what HTML and CSS does. Now, what JavaScript does is when you submit your information, it takes all that information and sends it to the server. It sends it to the backend. It sends your password, your email, your cart request, your order, your food order. It sends all those information back to the backend. So HTML is the and CSS is the foundation and the design, while JavaScript is the functionality. Next, please. We have several frameworks to develop an app. For web development, we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we have frameworks such as Angular, React, Next.js, and Vue. For mobile devices, we have React Native. It is a framework. It is being compared back to native device languages like Swift and Kotlin. Because as we all know, we are different people that will come from different places. We all know that we all have several different languages that we speak. I'm Yoruba. I think we have Igbo people here. We have Hausas, several languages, right? And so we all speak different languages. Same goes in for our software devices. They speak different languages. The language that our laptop understands is different from the language that the web browser that our web page understands. It's the mobile app, the desktop app, excuse me, the app on our desktop, the language it understands is different from the one that this browser web page understands. The language that our Android device understands is different from the one that our iOS device understands. Our Android devices run on Kotlin, while our iOS devices run on Swift. Our desktop app, the apps on our desktop runs on Electron, that's the language, the programming language, while our web pages that we are on is on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But JavaScript is the programming language. HTML and CSS are just building blocks to build the UI and the templates. All right, next please. Please, if we have any questions at all, make sure to add the questions to Slido. We're going to attend to them at the end of this session. So please drop your very interesting questions down at Slido so I can answer them. I love questions. Please ask your questions. Please, there are no dumb, silly, whatever questions. If you want to learn something, you have to be ready to take that bold step to ask that question, no matter how you see fit, and be ready to participate. So next, please. Back-end development. Back-end development refers to a process done for server development. It's referred to as server-side development because the creation of everything goes behind the scenes of the website application. Blah 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 blah. Grammar. I'm sure a lot of us are not even interested in hear what I have to say with all the grammar, and we're like, you just tell me what it is, boy. With all this grammar you're saying. Backend development is just the server where all our data is stored, the storage where when you have YouTube now, if we post the YouTube in right now, if we go on to 2036, it's still there. It's still there. It's stored in the backend. It's stored on the server. That is what backend development is. Just where our data is stored. There are several securities and whatever. Just like in our Doodle Pizza app, in our Glovo app, in our Chardeck app, we have our cards on there. We all know we have our cards. Like if you want to pay or our Uber app, some of us that use Uber, or so many of our softwares that we have our cards on there. The card is on there, right? But how would you feel if the card that you stored we stored on your actual device itself? Anybody can just have access to your device and get your card information and do whatever it is they want with it. Isn't that dangerous? It's fearful because you are scared that somebody can just misuse your card, misuse your information. Even some of us have personal information on apps. Some of us have information on medical statistics, etc. We have so many information that we don't want to be stored on our device. So we have it stored on the cloud, etc. So that is what the backend is. It's the cloud where all our informations are stored, and there are various security to make sure that informations are kept safe and private. It's the server, the cloud. The cloud that we have out there, it's stored in that foamy white thing on the cloud. Yeah, I'm just kidding, guys. It's just stored on the storage on the back end that is kept safe by several people and monitored by several amazing computer scientists. Next, please. Now, this image just explains how the front end and the back end is intertwined. But before we move into this image, does anybody want to share anything? I don't want to be the only one talking. I want to see if we are following through. Anybody? I've seen very two amazing people that are participating, and I want to see other people participate because I see that you guys are here and you're listening. Who is participating? Let me know. Please share your knowledge. Share what have you learned so far? What question? I will entertain maybe one question right now until we move to Slido. What have you learned? Who is learning with me? Somebody should say something. We have so many amazing, talented people here that are too shy to speak. Please, you guys, speak up.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Peter. I'm Israel. I think this night I've been able to learn effectively well. I think I've been able to learn effectively well because most times I've always been seeing the display of a front desk, a front end and a back end as a software engineer. But it has been able to, we have been able to clarify the fact that it is what we see on the normal interface, the one that the end user interact with, how it has been designed, are actually the functionality of the front end. And most time I've been seeing display on UI, UX. Like I said, I'm just coming into this particular field. So I've been able to see that the UI simply means user's interface, while UX simply means user's experience. And as well, I've been reading about the programs, but now I know that the HTML and the CSS, how they really interface, that is the skeleton work, and the graphics aspect of it is the CSS. Why the Java actually is what they are built on to run and have more like a brain that coordinates, or like a nerve that coordinates the front end and the back end together. And this has really shown me an eye opener. So at least it has really navigated my reading whenever I'm doing some personal studies again. By the time when the real training will commence, because I'm expecting a training in software engineering, so it will also give me an eye opener. So I must say this is a very good experience. Thank you very much, and God bless. Please, you need to unmute yourself. Mr. Peter, Mr. Odejobi, you need to unmute yourself. You are muted.
I am so sorry. I forgot I was muted. I am so sorry. I really did prepare a very amazing project that we could have worked on that I really wanted us to do in class today. But circumstances are circumstances. But tomorrow, we will work on something amazing. Tomorrow, I already have them prepared, and I'm sure we will all be doing our parts and be working together. So you people should prepare for me tomorrow. Please come with your laptops and your amazing ideas and your amazing knowledge so we can work together. Apologies, today was kind of not really so great, but I sincerely apologize, and we will work on something very great tomorrow. Okay, does anybody else have anything they want to share? Wow, I have a very quiet class today. I don't like that. I don't like a quiet class. No, I don't like a quiet class at all. Okay, you guys, please prepare to speak up tomorrow. Don't. I'm not bluffing when I say I will mention names. I'm not bluffing. I will mention names, but not today. Not today. Today, Today, Okay. 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 Basically, what the front end slash back end is this is our web app and a mobile app. This is the server. The server, this is what transports our information to the right path. When you click on your Dodo app, your Glovo app, your Uber app, your whatever software that you use, and they will make a request from the front end. Then our network provider sends those data as tiny chunks of chips to the server, and then the server routes those information to the correct database and file server. The database is where all our information are stored. Where when you post a YouTube video is stored, when you post a Facebook post, that is where your information is stored. And then the file server is just to bring to you when you click on a information speed. Let's say you click on Facebook and then you click on somebody's profile. The file server provides the person's profile onto you so you can see it. That is what the file server does. And then the database is where all our informations are stored, our pictures, our videos, etc. This is it. Next, please. Next, please. Are we there? Next, please. All right. Does anybody else have any question on front end slash back end? Do we? I know that there isn't a practical experience on this, but I just want to understand if we have any little understanding of what I explained when it comes to this front end slash back end, or do we have questions? Do we have concerns? I'm going to ask you to please ask those questions in. I'm going to ask you to please ask those questions on Slido, and then I will take up answering those questions. Excuse me, let me read this. Okay. I do have, I do want to introduce code, but I can't share my webpage, and I'm not so sure people will be able to follow on with what I am doing because so many people, so many people, we need to see what I am doing because when I just keep talking, they will be like, "What is he even saying, Seth? He's just saying do this. He's not showing me how to do it." So I cannot just speak. I need to show people. Actually, but I just feel like the one thing that I will explain to people is for you to download the VS Code app. You can download the VS Code app. Um, I will take questions for the next close. Like, let's have an interactive section. I feel like we've finished very early, so let's have an interactive session. Um, Tamala, could you please post the Slido link here so people can ask questions right now? I think this is the final note of the meeting, and I would really like to just entertain questions. Or we could also ask our questions here, being that we are already early on finished in our meeting. So I'm taking questions. Who has any question? Anybody? People, you need to ask questions to understand more. We need to know that just being in this meeting does not mean you're participating, does not mean you're learning, does not mean you are grasping that knowledge. So ask that question. Ask your question, please. Listening to me and turning off your mic and doing something else does not mean you are learning. You are not learning. You are just waiting for me to yap and get out. Don't wait for me to yap and get out. Learn. Learn so you can improve. Learn. You guys, learn.
Good
Ask your
evening.
questions. Hi. Good evening,
My name
Farida.
is Farida once again.
Hi, Farida.
I want to ask that which language do you think, as a software engineer, which language do you think is the best to use for backend and front end? The framework rather.
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to front end and back end development, I wouldn't say there is a best language. There is just something that is best suited for you, something that you know that you can use at the moment. Because when it comes to software engineering and the way everything is so fast track, so many new things come out every day. You just have to be able to keep on point. Just as the way when you go on Facebook or Instagram, there are so many new posts, so many new updates. So you just need to pick something that, as a beginner, something that is best suited for you. You can start with Python as a beginner. Python is very good for backend development and front end development. So in a way, we are being very smart to become a full stack developer and earn more than you expect. Python is very good and it's very beginner friendly. So I would advise Python, but I'm not saying it's the best programming language. I'm just saying it's something that's very beginner friendly, something that will help you learn very well and faster so you can have an idea. Okay? And Farida, did I answer your question? If you feel like
Yes, thank you.
okay. All right. Thank you so much, Farida. All right. I need somebody else that is courageous, somebody else that is fearless. Be confident. Okay? Who else? Who else has a question? Please break that silence. Fight that silence. I want you to fight that silence and speak. Literally, plenty of people have been, you know, breaking that silence and being confident in themselves to ask questions. Break that silence. Who else has a question? We are all lovely people here. We will entertain your questions. Okay, so who has questions? Who else? I've seen some people that have beat the confidence and fought that fear away. Do we all know that fear means false evidence appearing real? That is basically what fear stands for. False evidence appearing real. So you have to fight fear and tell it. When you feel it, you acknowledge it and you say, fear be gone. You have no power here. Tell that fear, fear be gone. You have no power here. And speak up. Who has questions? Fight that fear and speak up. Tell it, fear be gone. You have no power here. Okay, so who has questions? I'm entertaining questions here. Who else has questions? I'm sure so many of us has questions. We're just being shy. We're wondering about what people will say. But you guys, we are friendly people here. We're entertaining questions. Who has questions? Any question? It doesn't necessarily have to be software. Just ask. You can ask something in a general knowledge when it comes to tech. A general tech knowledge. Questions. Questions. People. We have a lot of time on our hands. So I'm taking questions. Nobody wants to ask me a question. Nobody has a question. Oh, I'm coming. Let me see. I think there's a question in there. Okay. Okay. I am having issues. Yes, Benga is asking questions. Okay, so I'm suggesting Benga. I'm not so sure this is a question. I think this is a suggestion. So I don't think that's a question. Um, they're suggesting that we step up the software to use. All right, so I think maybe some of us want to prepare early for tomorrow. We can just go ahead and download VS Code. Let me type it down here. VS Code is a software. It is a software for writing code. A software that writes software. A software that writes software. I'm trying to type it in here. VS Code. Okay. Um, who else has questions? We are fighting that fear. Speak up, you guys. Speak up. Fight that fear. Ask your question. Ask me a general question when it comes to tech. What are general questions? How do you, what, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do I think? What advice do I have on getting into tech? What is, ask me general questions. If you don't ask me questions, I'll ask you questions. I'll ask you questions and then I'll turn on your mic so I will hear you. I will hear what you're saying. Please, where can someone work? Okay, so when it's after this program, where can you work? After this program, where you can work in various tech companies. You're talking about after this specific bootcamp program. After this bootcamp program, I'm not going to advise that you look for a job. Okay, I know a lot of us are looking for the fastest ways. Like, get me to that point straight. I want to get there fast. I want to run. I want to, I know. I was like that. I was like that. I was like, I want the fastest way. I want to make this money. I want to make this money so I can start spending. There is no fast way to success, but I wouldn't even say that there's also a shortcut so that I can get it there. But after this program, I would not advise that we go ahead to start looking for jobs, except we take our time to do our research. But honestly, I wouldn't advise after this boot camp to go ahead and look for jobs because it will not be really helpful for our profile and our portfolios because there's so much things that go on into software aside from writing code. When you're done learning how to write code, you also have to learn how to present yourself. You have to learn to write the perfect CV, the perfect profile, and have an optimized profile for tech companies to be able to review your profile and believe that you're the right person for the job, which will so much help you here at Builder Studio. You can ask Favor Broderick, it will help you with that and answer those questions. So presently, I wouldn't advise after this program to go ahead and look for jobs. For any more questions? Any more questions?
Hi,
Questions.
good evening.
Hi, good evening, Gideon.
Hi, I wanted to ask, uh, after this program, is there an extension to it after the boot camp? Because I know that at the end of this boot camp, there's no way we would be able to fully learn about software engineering. So I know that if we are going to learn about software engineering, everything about it, it will have to be extended, or maybe we would have to do more than what this program is offering. So I don't know if there is an opportunity for it under this platform that you guys are providing. And I want to thank you for providing this platform in the first place. So that's the question.
Uh-huh. All right. Thank you so much for that question, Gideon. Actually, Builder Studio does have an academy. Um, you can reach out to Favor Broderick in the case to find out more about the academy where you can be taught software. It is online and self-paced, so you can start and finish at any time that you want. You can start and finish at any time that you want. Abiodun just asked if there's an age limit in securing a good offer as a software engineer. No, no, Abiodun, there is no age limit. You can work as a software engineer at any point in your life and at any time. These days, there are even so many remote roles. And please, I also noticed that a lot of people have their ages on their resume. Remove it. Remove your age. Remove your date of birth from your resume. Remove your age, your date of birth, your hobbies. Those don't matter these days. Like when you're looking for a job right now in this job sector, it doesn't even matter if it's in tech. Don't bother adding your age to that. Don't bother adding your date of birth. Don't bother adding your marital status, your your hobbies. Don't add that. Don't add those. They don't really need that. They just need to have an idea of your working experience. There is no age limit to get a good job as a software engineer. No. So like quite a few of software roles are remote, so you really don't even have to go into the office. I don't go into the office at Builder Studio. At time to time, I would go, but it is not very required. It's not very necessary. You can just stay at home and do your job. Just make sure you do your job. That's it. Do your job. Just because you're at home doesn't mean you should not do your job. Do your job. Okay. Any more questions? Thank you for that question, Gideon. And thank you for that question, Abiodun. So, Gideon, again, please reach out to Favor Broderick. He is the communities person and is going to attend to your question. Or you can reach out to us via our social media platforms on LinkedIn, Instagram, WhatsApp, where they can attend to you. When it comes to the training bootcamp, it is online and self-paced. I said bootcamp, I meant academy. I'm so sorry. The training academy is online and self-paced where you can learn to be a software engineer at your own pace and finish at the time that you want. As long as you put that work in and you put in that effort, you will get what you want. You will get what you desire. Because I was also in a meeting like this to learn to become a software engineer till I got to this place in my life. I learned self-paced. I gave myself 3 months. I don't know. It depends on you. You can say you want to finish in a month and a half or two. Just depends on you. I give myself 3 months and then I finished within that time. And I navigated a lot of the challenges that came with being a software engineer, and I found a place that was right for me. So you can do that too. You can. Anybody else got any questions? I think we should finish this meeting around 8. What do we think? Does anybody else have any questions? Any questions? Should I ask questions? Okay. Question 1. You guys answer me. Answer me. What programming language do we think that Facebook uses? What programming language does the mobile app on Facebook? What programming language or framework does Facebook use? What framework does Facebook use? So who can answer that? The framework that Facebook uses to write the Facebook mobile app that we use. What framework? Anybody? Farida, you were about to speak, but you turned off the mic. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. It's okay to be wrong.
React JS.
React. Yes, you are correct. React, but not fully. Facebook is actually written, the mobile app is written via React Native. It's written with React Native because React Native works on mobile apps. It is a framework that helps. Like I said, I told you guys that different platforms have different programming languages. The Android phone uses Kotlin, and then the iOS phone uses Swift. But Farida, you're absolutely correct and you're absolutely on point, but you left the native out of it. React Native is a framework that breaks down your React code into the specific platform. It will change your React framework code to Kotlin for Android, and then it will change your React framework code again to Swift for iOS. So React Native is for the mobile app. It is a cross-platform framework that works on the two iOS and Android. Okay. Um, what? Okay. Another question would be: does anybody know where our code is hosted? What is the name of the app? There are various software that are used to host the code and store our code to keep them safe, so they can last till eternity. So people can go there and upgrade them. New people can just go and check out the code. Does anybody know the software that we use to host those code, where we keep and store those code? Anybody? In software, we call it version control. But does anybody have any idea? It's okay to be wrong. At least you tried. At least you fought that fear spirit and you spoke out. So, any questions?
I
Um,
think
good
G.
evening.
Hi, Deborah. Oh my
I
God,
think
you sound so nice. You didn't speak for quite a while. Okay, hi.
good evening. I think GitHub is where you can store your code and also host it.
I'm so sorry. I can't really quite get what you're saying, Deborah. Please,
Okay,
can
I said
you type down?
okay.
Can't quite grasp what you're saying. GitHub. Oh my, Deborah, that was so smart. That's correct. GitHub is the right answer. Yes. Yes. I have so many smart people here. How come? Are you people coming to learn or you're coming to bombard me with your knowledge? Which one is it? You people are not learning from me. You people already have great ideas and amazing mind. Please stop. You people should stop keeping quiet when you are in a large room. Share that your idea, share that your knowledge, share it. You never might know what might come along because see, amazing. So many of you have been answering my questions, hitting it on the head and being bright all the time. I don't understand why you guys were quiet. Stop being quiet and just pick out. Yes, GitHub is used to host the code base. That is where so many developers can come together and work on the code. Because imagine if I am working on Facebook. Facebook is all the way in America, and I'm here in Nigeria. How can I work with other developers? Because I'm sure you know so many Nigerians that work on Facebook, or so many Nigerians that say they work at Meta, they work at Uber. All these different companies are in several parts of the world. So you know, so many people have wondered how are they doing it? How are they able to transport the code? Because obviously the code you write is on your local machine. They're on your local machine. So how do you transport them into the cloud so other people can be able to pull them and work on them? GitHub, that is where our code is hosted. It is for version control. where everybody, every developer on that platform, on the in the organization, can come together to write code. Okay, I think that is it that we have today. We have 3 minutes to end the session, and I really appreciate each and everybody for their questions and their enthusiasm and their participation. All of you were amazing. And those of you that didn't get the chance to talk, I mean, there's always tomorrow. It's never too late. It is never too late. Always remember that it is never too late. And I'm very proud of each and every one of us for making it today. We are all amazing people. And then Nigeria will not get the best of us. I see that we know there's so many reasons for us to say, oh my God, I can't do it. I'm tired. It's too much for me. But we made it. We made it here. We came here. And, we're making the right decisions to improve ourselves, to do better, to make it out of this issue that this government created for us. Please, you guys also remember to vote. This is out of context, but remember to vote. Vote the right people. So Nigeria will be better for every one of us. But yes, I will take one more question. We have 2 more minutes to 8:30 before we end this session. So do we have any questions? Anybody? All right, thank you, Abiodun, as well. Do you have any questions? Any questions? Just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I can still take on one question. No, one question that anybody has. Fight that spirit of fear and speak up. Speak up. Don't be quiet. Because I've seen that so many of you have amazing and great ideas, but you don't want to share. Don't want to share. You don't want anybody to hear your voice. But we want to hear from you. Any questions? Any questions? People. All right. So we are a minute down. And I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much for sharing your voices and sharing so many of your great ideas. Please, tomorrow is also going to be another great and impactful event where we can all interact and share another. Tomorrow we will write code. Tomorrow, no excuses. I promise you. I promise. I promise. Me, no excuses. No excuses from me to you. We are writing that code by force, by fire. We are writing that code. So please make yourself available tomorrow as well. Let us invest in ourselves and let us continue to make the world a better place for ourselves and everyone around us. All right, it is 8:30. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We can all start exiting and see you tomorrow. Please come with your strong minds and efficient power. All right, bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gideon. Thank you. You guys are all amazing people. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Ask favor. Ask via social media panel, social media platform if you have any questions for me. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Okay. We can exit now. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Bye, everybody. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Bye. Bye bye. Bye. Some of you are still here. Do you guys want to have an after class? Do you guys want to have a summer coach in? Bye. I think we have 5 more people that are still here. Ayomi, Samuel, Marianne, amazing people. We are done with the class, please. We can start exiting. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for everybody to. All right. Bye. Bye, Miriam. Miriam. All right. Okay. Miriam, do you have something you want to share? You're really taking your time before you leave. If you have something to share, please let me know. Okay. Bye. All right, Damola. Do you have any concerns you want to let me know about?